All right, folks, here we are on the lawn with Tommy Cowett and GrowinGreen, and today we're talking about soil sampling. Now, every property that we do a program on GrowinGreen, we get a soil test for that soil on that property. That's going to give us an overall picture of the fertility needs of that soil, what it contains, what the ability of that soil to hold nutrients is, through a few simple readings that the soil test will give us. Now, on a soil test, we'll go around and sequential sample. And really what I want are some cores. So I sampled about a dozen places in the lawn, sequential sampling. I randomly took a sample, and I only really wanted the A horizon, which is about, here's the top of the core. This is easily 10 inches of a sample, core sample I was able to take, but I really don't need anything down here in the C horizon or B horizon. Then you hit bedrock. I really only want the first few inches of the soil here, the main primary root zone. So these cores are representative of that. We'll take these back to the lab, we'll dry them out, and then we'll crush them, box them, and send them off to the state, or if I have to and I need something quicker back, I'll go to a local lab here. But basically, you'll see what the soil tests tell us from soil pH. You're going to get humic matter, which is the amount of actual humic acid, and fulvic acid, which are two components of our biological program. That's the amount of pure organic matter available to the plant. It's not the amount of organic matter, which you might be thinking like old rotted material, old stolons, old shoots, things like that. Or what we're doing is putting down biology in the soil, microbial biology in the soil as it lives and dies and completes its life cycle. It's creating this fulvic and humic acid component to the soil. But basically, going around and taking these samples, this is a pretty good view of my soil profile here at the house. It's a montmorillonite or kaolinitic clay, very common. These clays are really excellent for holding their capacity to hold nutrients. You'll see that in a CEC, which is the cation exchange capacity. They have high ones, high numbers usually, and the ability for them to hold nutrients. So what this is basically telling us is how much the ability of the soil to hold nutrients. Base saturation might tell us already how much is in the soil by looking at each base, basic or positive cation, potassium, calcium, magnesium, that is in the sodium, hydrogen, that's in the soil already. So anyway, we'll show you this and take a look at how we process the tests and how we interpret the results when we get it back from the state. All right, bear with me. All right, folks, Tommy Cowett here on the lawn and in the office. And this is something that's very important that we do, which is to soil sample just about every property that we do sign up on a program. But some things get more testing than others. I'll show you some of these soils that we come across, though. In this case, and I'll show you how we process these samples before we send them off to the state of North Carolina, or we go to a private lab, John Deere Landscape. But this is a sand rock soil. It's just awful. We box these up and send them off to the state. It's a lot of work, really it is, when it comes down to it. Each sample has to be taken. Let me show you some differences here. This is over at a horse farm, and this is a lawn that was in pretty good shape. You can see that soil there. This is pasture, a little harder and crustier out there. A lot of compaction, probably from the horses, if you could see that. Organic soil, which that's from her gardening area. It's a raised bed. Show you, this is ball fields in Southern Alamance High School. This is from the baseball field, which is in really good shape. But over here, they had a problem with the Southern Alamance practice field. Look at the difference in soil here. It's awful. So what we'll do is submit these samples off to the state. Basically what we do to process them is pound this sucker. You know, break it up into fine pieces. You see that? And I'll just process that and then take any organic matter that may be in there. Another thing about the sampling, you know, we want to get the first few inches of the soil. So we're probably taking about that much, and then remove any thatch that may have been on the edge of that. But I'm going to finish processing all these, get these shipped off, and then we'll go over a sample report that tells us what we're finding. There's a number of things from soil pH to cation exchange capacity to base saturation, everything. I'll try to explain that and how we might come up with some recommendations on how to improve their soil. Of course, we're building soil with our organic program. All right, Tommy Cowett signing out for now. Got a lot of work to do, as you can see.